Hello and welcome to another session of how to become a financial analyst. Today we'll be covering a very important topic, which is macros. Basically, macro repeats the tasks. In Excel, macro is a set of instructions that can be triggered by a keyboard shortcut, toolbar button, or by an icon in a spreadsheet. Macro is one of the most high in demand skills, especially when you are going for any analytical jobs or you want to move into a next level into your existing jobs. Sometimes it is a must skill. We use macros to save our time for the repeated manual tasks and to be more productive into our day-to-day work. Excel record macros basically in Visual Basic or VB at the back end. Initially, we don't need to know more VB at an expert level or something like this, but we will try to cover some of the very basics of a Visual Basic, so at least you can do something for yourself. Okay. Before we start a macros, there are 2 or 3 prerequisites of the macros. That means these are important before you start. So first, go into your file if you're using 16. Otherwise, other versions have different options, but you can do that. So go into the options, and over here it says customize ribbon, and over here you can see I have ticked my developer here. So if it is unticked, please tick the developer and say OK. The moment you will do, you can see a developer ribbon appear on the top. Second step is that go into the developer and there's a macro security. Press this button, and first 3 lines leave them blank and put the dot onto the 4th line, and then over here ticks the last line. Okay, and once you do all this thing on your system, press OK. And these 2 steps are the one-time step, means you don't have to repeat those steps. It's once done, then it's good for you create more macros. And the last, not the least, most important thing is, if first time I want to create a macro file and I want to stage it at the start or in the middle or at the end, whatever, I have to say save it as, and over here you have to select macro enabled file. If you will not save it macro enabled file and create the macros, save the file, close it and reopen the file, you will be unable to run the macros because the Excel file was not saved as macro enabled file, and hence whatever you have done will be lost. Okay, so these are the 3 important things. So what we will do is initially how we can record the macro. So there are 3 different ways. One, if you go into a view ribbon, and over here if you press this thing, there's a record macro. Second, you can go into developer itself and there's a record macro icon. And third, which is most convenient way, is that if you look at your left bottom, there's an icon over here, and if you press icon, it will start recording a macro. But before we do, let me explain you the file. So basically we are the producers of our soap, and we sell our soap weekly to our customers, and you as a sales analyst or a financial analyst, whatever, you have to compile the report on a weekly basis. Now these are your customers, but that's a Walmart, then Costco, Loblaws, Freshco, Food Basic, and so be. So all together we have 112 different SKUs with different sizes and variants. Okay, rose, jasmine, lavender, and things like this. So 116 items. So this is the first week of our report, which people have updated in the system, and when you download it, unfortunately the data, or the only data available is there are some customer names, there are SKUs, unit of sales, the rate, in which province you have sold the goods, quantity, and that's all. Now what your boss wants, basically he wants you to calculate the sales amount, tax amount, and this total, and then he wants you to do couple of things, and every week you have to create this report and circulate it. So 4 times a week, and if you don't need these basic macros, you may need hours to create this report on this, but no more, because now you will be doing all such things, or things which is very similar to these situations will be through the macros. So let's start our macros. So I will use a convenient way. Okay, so what I will do is I will go over here and say press this button, and I will call it format, because I'm doing a format. So I say format format 1, and over here the shortcut key to execute this is F from format, and over here it's not mandatory, but if I want I can say basic formatting of downloaded data, so that if I want to see the macros, if for example I'm creating 10, 15, 20 macros on the file, and if I want to see, then I know that what macro is doing what. And over here there are different options which says you want to save the macro in the same sheet, new file, or something like this. I always prefer to do it into this sheet, so that the macros of the worksheet stays in that. And over here the moment I press OK, you can see the shape of this macro, of this icon, will be changed, and it becomes solid from the inside. Now we are into a recording mode, and let's do this thing one by one. So step number 2, which is calculate the sales, bring in the text percentage, calculate text amount and sales amount. Okay, so I will write sales over here, and simply for me is this thing multiplied by the rate, and I can double click so that it get copied over here. Text percentage for me. Now I've already written the names of these 4 provinces. Initially, let's say we are doing business only in 4: Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario and Quebec, and these are the text percentages. So what I will do, I will use my if formula to see, because I got the name of the province over here. So what I will do is equals to if bracket start, this cell is equal to this thing, and because I want to copy, so I will put the $sign. Then if it is equal to QC, then do what? Bring this percentage, $sign. If not, then put another if bracket start, is this cell is equal to Ontario, $sign. If yes, pick the percentage, which is 13%. If not, technically if I'll be doing my office job, I will go for the BC 5%, and if not, then pick the Alberta 5% in the third VLOOKUP if formula. But just to save the time, if I say if it is not 14%, if not 13%, then remaining 2 provinces are 5%. So I'll say if not, then just pick this 5%, bracket 1, 2, bracket close, enter, and I can copy this down to the bottom, and because it's all selected, I'll take a benefit of it and say convert it into the percentage. I want 2%, and now here I can select the text, and this is what I can say, this percentage to be multiplied by the sales amount. Okay, and I can double click here, and finally my total sales. And what is my total sales? Is this thing plus this thing, and then I can double click here to go at the bottom, and the number 2 says, so I've done all these 3 things. So third, freeze the panes. So I'll put my cursor over here on number 1. I will go into view, and over here say freeze pans, done. Number 3 says totals at the bottom, so I will go shift down, home ribbon, sum, and make it bold and make it like this, and then I'll say copy this thing and put it onto the text and over here, and we can further which is the width of the column, and yeah, I'm on the top. So this is all done. Percentage of each transactions to the sales total. Okay, so I can click here the percentage, and this amount, which is the sales amount, is how much percentage of the total amount. Go at the bottom, F4, enter 5%, and again I can convert it to this 2 decimals, and I can double click over here, go at the bottoms, and if I want, I can say show me the sum, and it says 100%. So I'm okay with this thing, and come up on the top, proper formatting. Okay, so I can now doing point number 6, select this thing over here. I need this to be left aligned. I want my measurement to be center, provinces to be centered. Let's do it a little bit bold, bring the alignment, and okay, number 6 and 7 borders. Okay, number 7 says border, so I will select this thing, go at the bottom, and go into home ribbon, undo the borders, and then go on to the top here. I can select some bold borders, select the colors, and change the fonts to white. And now okay, so company name, there's no company name appearing over here, so I can write ABC. ABC Soap Company, and make it a little bit bold. And then last, point number 9 is date. So I can go here and I say this is the first week of March 2020, and make it a little bit of right alignments, and nothing left. So I'm comfortable with that, and I want to save stop my macros, and I will simply double click on it, and as you can see, the icon has been changed. So now whatever we need to do, we have almost done here. And now what I have done is that this is the first week which you have run the macro. So for your convenience, what I do, I have already downloaded the week 2 data on that same format. Okay, week 3 data on the same format, week 4 data on the same format, and over here I'm bringing the totals of all 4 weeks. Initially there are no for 2, 3, 4 because there is no data, but now we have all this number, and this is what I've done with a simple edit linking which we have discussed previously. So if I click onto this 513, double click here, my system already brought me what is the source of this information, which is the total sales of week 1. Okay, so now let's go on to week 2 and run the macro. I have to do nothing. Wherever I am, there are 2 ways. One, I can go into view and say macros, view macros, and there's only one which says format, and I can say run. Or the second way is I can put my cursor anywhere and press that hyperlink key which says Control F. So I will prefer to press Control F, and here we go. And here you can see that everything is done, and the total is appearing at the bottom. Okay, there's minor things you have to do, but everything is all done here. So I'm happy with my week 2, and what I've learned is that there's only still first week appearing over here, while it is my second week here. So now what I can do is I can go into view, I can say macro, and I can say here I have to do manual. Okay, so here I will do a manual thing which says I will just go and say it's second week over here. Yeah, second sales week of March 2020, but I know I just want to do the third one. So what I will do, I will go into the macros and say view macros, and over here I will say edit. And the moment I say edit, this is the macro which Excel has written at the back end when you were creating the macro. So I can go over here at the bottom and I can see that it says first week, sorry. So now because I want to run for the third one, so here I will say third sales week of March 2020, and here I will save, yes, and close this thing, and now go on to the third week and say, now let's run from here, view macro, this, and run for the third week. And now you can see the third sales weeks comes automatically. Okay, I can go back and change the fourth one, but let's say I will not do it, and here I will say again a shortcut key which is Control F. I done this thing, and over here I can change it manually for the fourth week if I'm circulating the report. Done. And now, because I'm now again, previously if you do manual all those settings, you may take 15-20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, I have no idea. But once you have created the macro into the first file, now for the second week you can just download the data, and just with a click of button everything is done. And now who's stopping you to take it to 52 weeks and keep continue what you are doing? And now if I go on to my sales, my summary has automatically been updated by the link. So what is the source of this 647, or let's say what is the source of 647? So double click here and it comes into the week 4 and say this is the source of 647, and I'm okay with that. Okay, I will continue more macros onto this recording, so stay tuned with my macros sessions, and I hope that today you have learned something from the point of view of macros. Please click thumbs up and subscribe my channels, and also invite your friends and families so that they can also learn these most high in demand corporate skills which are good for fresh graduates and the people who want to move into the next level of the career, or even the people who want to start the second career. These are all proven skills, because I'm teaching all what I've learned or I'm doing into my corporate life for last 25 years. That's why I call it a hands-on practical trainings, and I'm sure these things will help you to upgrade your skills. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.